following announcement has been paid for by the
Mark Order.
Hey, this is JayV with the Elite Mark Order. I'm here with CosmicScott, and we just saw the Fight Forever video launch with Uno and Orange Cassidy playing some live gameplay and streaming it on Twitch. So we're here to talk about that. Scott, what do you think of the stream?
I am so excited for this. I thought the stream was great. OC's an old school gamer. Uno is the best. He listed off, he's like, I'm going to list the systems that I don't own. He listed off 5 ancient systems. He's like, I own everything else. The dude is a legit gamer. I'm glad he's basically the head of the media outlet for AEW on the AEW game side. Because he's not going to hold back. He's like, yeah, we're going to have to keep some of these things secret. But the rest, oh man, I love this video. I thought it was a great stream. I am so frigging excited for this game, even more than before. How about you, Jay?
I'm, of course. I mean, really, this is the game that brought the Elite Mark Order together as a group. Was all of us in the AE Games Discord. We're all anxiously anticipating the release on June 29th. I'll be playing on my Switch from the Eiffel Tower, but that's a story for another day. I'm super excited. I'm mostly positive about what I saw, which is good because wrestling games have been so bad. The gameplay looks good for the most part. I still have a lot of questions. I'm overall pleased with the presentation. Overall pleased with the gameplay. How about you? What were your first impressions?
So here's my takeaway. First and foremost, they got it. They went in, Kenny and Uno and all the game players all went in with the exact same idea. They want that fun game that Ukes and Akai used to do back in the day, WrestleMania 2000. That's the one I'm comparing this against because that is probably the high watermark for wrestling games. In watching the video, in watching this brand new game come alive in front of us, I saw so much that reminded me of those classic games. Yet, here we are in 2023, there's so much more. The dives through the ropes, over the ropes, the different moves that everybody has, the unlockable moves. You have to complete stuff in order to unlock all their finishers. I love that. One part that they mentioned during the actual stream that I'm watching right now was when they did a suplex into the corner and you saw Thunder Rosa's feet take damage. And OC and Uno both talked about the fact that it legit hurts your feet and legs more than a normal suplex. And the animation in the corner looked amazing. You do a move in the corner and it reacts like it's in a corner. There were 2 times MJF and OC had 2 different times that they picked somebody up and hung them out to dry on the top rope. Typical Trent move is what they called it. One time when when OC did it to MJF, MJF flew, hung on the ropes and came back in. When OC did it, he hung on the ropes and went outside. And that gave MJF the chance to do his hanging DDT. I thought that the little details of the gameplay to make it specific to everybody is exactly what I wanted. I wanted that level of detail. Sure, there's going to be some repeat moves. I'm going to have to deal with Toothless Hogan spamming a freaking Russian leg sweep over and over and over. Because that's the way he used to play the game. He knows how to do the Russian leg sweep. It gets in. It's a fast move, and he'll do that to me 1,000,000 times until I figure out how to counter it. But that's the gameplay that I'm expecting. Loved all the moves. Loved the corner moves. Loved everything about this gameplay. I'm so excited. I know you have some nitpicks. What did you think was good? And then we'll get into the nitpicks.
So one of the things I was hoping was I'm hoping we get to see Kenny Omega playing the game. Kenny Omega was originally the one that pushed to get this developed. He had some of that game developer responsibilities in his contract when he first signed on at AEW. He launched AEW 2.0, which was short-lived. And he went out and he got Geita Iwashita, the director of No Mercy from Japan, to help out with the development of this game and help bring some of those principles from No Mercy and some of those development guidelines into the game. Mm-hmm. And I think what we saw today with Orange Cassidy and Evil Uno, doing some single matches versus the computer, is definitely that spirit shown through. Like it looks and plays exactly like those old games. It's crisper. There's movement in more directions instead of 8. It looks like it's much faster. You know, there's speed in this game, which is good because the old games did run a little bit on the slower side.
Yeah.
And everything from the strikes to the grapples looks pretty similar. During the presentation, they went up to a pause screen and they showed the move list. They showed the signature moves, the signature and the finishers and the signatures. And that's a similar to what you can do in the WWE games that everyone's familiar with and that has been playing for the last 20 years. But it's good to see those moves are easy to pull off, easily accessible. You don't have to push some random sequence of buttons to get a finisher to pull off. It looks like it's going to be smooth to play. And I think Kenny did a good job making sure that spirit that everyone loved with No Mercy and Virtual Pro Wrestling is being carried over into Fight Forever.
Yeah, and a lot of what you were talking about with the positioning and all of that comes with the high-end 3D graphics that we currently have in 2023. I noticed they were just showing the end of the Shida versus Baker match, or Thunder Rosa, and Shida missed the katana the first time. And the reason she missed it is because she wasn't lined up perfect. Now, the one thing that I absolutely hated about those old games is they would move the animations into the middle of the ring if you say you hit a particular suplex or whatever. And the clipping was such that it absolutely just would go through the ropes, it would mess you around, and then eventually you'd end up in the middle or whatever. This, it's wherever you are, it's responding to the environment. If you swing at someone and you're not in range, you're not going to just jump forward. Like the old Street Fighter, where you could get a couple of extra pixels or whatever on the Hadouken or the Shiroken uppercut. You're not going to get that in this. The collision detection, which, yes, it's a Grandma's Boy reference, is amazing in this. The hitboxes seem so precise. I like that. I saw so many counters and combination moves and chain wrestling and the stuff that I love watching, I now get to be able to perform. I'm so excited for that.
In the Jungle Boy match, I noticed that Jungle Boy did what looked like a sidestep. I would compare it to like a dash in the Street Fighter games, where you double tap forward and you'll dash out of the way to evade a move or to getting closer to follow up with a move. And I noticed Jungle Boy did and it was off center too. It was like to the right. Like he did almost like a one-step dash that could evade a strike. It could evade a grapple. So, there's a lot of questions that I have around that. Like, if you do that dash to get out of the way, how many frames do you have to follow up on your opponent? Are you frozen in that dash so it's a full reset? Or can you get the advantage if your opponent whiffs a strike or whiffs a grapple? And those are the things that are going to impact how the game is played and how much fun it is and how competitive it is. So it remains to be seen if this game is playable online. And 2, how well it's going to flow, in a 1-player versus 2-player, sitting next to each other on the couch. How is it going to play competitively?
Well, I think part of what you were hitting on when you were talking about the sidestep reminds me of the old Virtua Fighter and Tekken 3D environments, where someone would come in and you just do a little half-step sidewards. Maybe it was Yoshi. I don't remember. The assassin guy from Tekken. I know Krillin would know it immediately. He was talking about it earlier in the Discord. He had the ability to do a sidestep. So I know that that's sort of what you were talking about, and I'd love to see if that was incorporated. I think overall, the framing, the hitboxes, all of those little details, there are going to be some competitive players out there who are literally going to pull it apart. But I think you're right. I think the development that Kenny started, he brought in Gaeta-san, he brought in Ukes because they were the old school developers, and he wanted that. Some people are complaining, oh, the graphics look like they're from 92 on my PS2. You know what? I still play Minecraft. I still play a game from not only 2012, but whose graphics literally will never improve. It's a block-based game. I love Minecraft. It's not about the graphics. These graphics remind me enough of WrestleMania 2000 that I'm happy. I'm okay with it being a little blocky.
I think the graphics are a little disappointing. I mean, the high resolution textures that we were shown previously were not in this stream. However, there could be a couple reasons for that. He could be told to be playing in low resolution on a PC, emulating on a PC, or installed on a PC. The game is available on PC. He could be playing on a Switch. I don't know. So it could be this game looks completely different. If you're using a 4080 GeForce on your PC, or if you're using a PlayStation 5. So we'll see how the graphics.
Switch. I agree with you. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I did want to say he was traveling. It's got to be a Switch or a console. It's not a PC. Just because
it could be a laptop.
I guess
he could have a gaming laptop is definitely a thing that people travel.
This is the dude that owns every console. I'm assuming that he has a Switch or a console, which is easier to move than a laptop.
He did. He
was running it on OBS, so it could have been a laptop.
Okay, yeah. I mean, a laptop's a lot smaller than the next gen consoles. Like my laptop's about a quarter the size of my PS5.
Sure,
and
but
he did mention he broke his PS5. They broke it going through the scanner at the airport. So I'm not sure if he replaced it or what. But
that's true. And he was, he was using OBS. He was using streaming platform that could have been run on the laptop, and then he could have been streaming from console. I don't know. I know
he should be using. He should be using our friend Me 6. That way all of the recording happens in the cloud. And nothing can go wrong in the cloud.
No, nothing ever goes wrong in the cloud. But as far as the game goes, I love the advancements. I love the fact that it's going to have 50 wrestlers, and there's an advancement for playing with all 50 wrestlers. There's going to be advancements for custom everything. So they're encouraging us to go in and create our own arenas, create our own wrestlers, create our own attires. I'm so happy about that. Do I want more community support? Yes, that's something that AEW didn't have a huge push on initially. And Ukes is like, no, we really need that. Maybe we'll get that in the future. As far as the co-op gameplay, I don't know about online. I like the fact that there's not going to be a lot of forced battle pass stuff. I don't necessarily want that sort of forced online interaction thing. I like the fact that the game's built in, got these advancements that they want you to go after to enjoy the game more, to learn the game better. And quite honestly, this gameplay, it looks stunning. It may not be the graphic pinnacle, but they can always improve that. This right here tells me that the gameplay engine itself looks amazing. I just saw the Jungle Boy. He did a hip toss into a sidekick. And it just, the flow of these moves, the flow of the wrestling, the chain wrestling, the ability to do all these moves. All I wanted was an updated WrestleMania 2000, and this is going to fulfill that dream. And in more ways than I could even have imagined. So I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm ready for this to come out.
Yeah, definitely excited. Curious about the online features that are going to be available. Is there going to be a rating system? In the elite marks in the chat room, we're talking about doing tournaments and things like that. So, but I mean, it remains to be seen how much customization is going to be available online. Is it cross-platform? Will I be able to sign on to my PS5 and play, one of the other elite marks on their Switch? Like, how's that all going to work?
Yes.
So
yes, that has been answered. That has been answered in the AEW Games Discord by Zaidi himself directly. There is cross-platform gameplay. Absolutely. Okay. That's critical. That is critical for me because that only increases their success.
Well, it does. It makes it much more likely to be able to find an opponent. And if there's a rating system, it can help you match up with people you're in the same skill level with instead of getting smoked by people who are using turbo controllers or whatever.
Or whatever the secret is to cheesing this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can always cheat on a PC. So I guess I would almost prefer that, like a gated PS5 community where you can still definitely cheat on a PS5, but it's not quite as widespread as it is on PC. At least for the games that I'm familiar with. I could be way off about that, but
I mean, unfortunately, in the gaming community, people are always going to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I can only hope that what we get, like I brought it up in the games Discord. Hey, let's have a tournament in the games Discord, like they did with Elite GM. And fortunately, they were open to that. So I'm excited for the contests. I'm excited for just the gameplay. I know that online is going to be critical. They must know online is going to be critical. So I expect there to be some level of online gameplay and other online interactions. But this seems to be like centered and really focused on that local sort of head to head in your room yelling at each other gameplay.
Yeah, that was Kenny was definitely harkening back to that, where a group of friends that weren't even wrestling fans would play those old games because they were so much fun. I had that experience at work. Like there were one of my friends there, absolutely would not watch pro wrestling, but he was like, he comes up to me one day and he's like, dude, we're playing this wrestling game for the Nintendo 64. It's incredible. He's like, it's super fun. You can like pick up the steps and throw him at guy's head and then pile drive him on it. I'm like, hey, I thought you hated wrestling. He's like, I do. Wrestling's awful, but this game rules. So,
back
I
in
think
the day,
that's what they're going for.
WrestleMania 2000. That again, I go back to that because that was the high watermark for me. And if this can surpass that, I'm freaking ecstatic. My friends hated wrestling. They loved this wrestling game. They would challenge me constantly. Now, mind you, I was the king of reversals because I played the AI, and none of them could beat me. But they knew that it was a fun game, that they wanted to play it, and they challenged me because they knew that it would destroy them. But then we'd play other games and they'd kill me. So that's just gaming.
Right.
Wrestling games were my thing, and they loved them regardless. And I'm like, that's what I want. I just want non-wrestling fans to be fans of this game because that will increase the viewer base for AEW's actual TV show. That was why I wanted this to be successful back in the original 2019 announcement of the video games. Now, it's no longer make or break for AEW. They've got a contract most likely for right around $1 billion for the next 4 to 5 years. This is no longer make or break, but the fact is, a really, really good video game will keep that company afloat and will beat bad ratings for fandom. People will become fans because of the video game, period. And I like that. So, I mean, I'm an elite mark. You're an elite mark. Everybody who listens is an elite mark. All our chat rooms full of it. We are here because we love wrestling and we love wrestling video games. This is, as you said, what brought us together. And I cannot wait to wrestle you and Krill, some of the other guys, because I'm finally going to get competition from people that I like.
You're all going to regret it once you go up against me.
You know what? We're going to have the biggest smack talk you can even imagine.
Just like with Elite GM, I was the #1 player in the world with Elite GM. I won all 3 seasons. I won over 99% of my matches, and it's going to be the same thing here. So you guys just wait.
Look, I'm not saying you weren't amazing at Elite GM. I'm saying this game goes into skill sets I built up in my 30s. And I will not forget that muscle memory. I assure you, playing this video game is slightly different than playing the Elite GM game. Now, don't get me wrong, Elite GM was fun, but it wasn't a video game. It was a simulation. It was a little... I don't know if they're going to have any sort of GM mode. That's another thing they haven't talked about.
I think we should all put money on who's going to be the first Elite Mark to rage quit during one of our tournaments.
You know what? There should be a pool of all sorts of things. Rage quit, who wins, who cusses first, who blames the controller first, all sorts of stuff.
It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I just hope that the online play is good. I mean, you just don't know. It's a new game. They haven't there's no beta testing. We have absolutely no idea. It could be complete shit like the Fire Pro Wrestling was online. Or who knows? Maybe... I don't know. I'm gonna bet. Right now, just because this is a new franchise and a new game, I'm trying not to get my hopes up about the online play too much. It should still be fun either way, but I just don't want to get too excited.
I'm all, you know what, this gameplay, I was all ready to just be moderate and just be cool and be like, you know what, when it comes out, now I'm super excited again. So we've got a month, we got that countdown. Not only do you have your wedding, not only do you have Forbidden Door, not only is there All In, All Out, but we also have Collision, the new TV show, and to top all of that off, we still have CM Punk drama. Oh, and by the way, there's a video game. You know, when they released the date earlier on Monday, Uke stock jumped 500%.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, seriously. The fact is, the video game community has been waiting with bated breath to see exactly how good this game will be.
Yeah, there was a about a month ago, people were saying this game's going to be canceled. It's never going to come out. And
I've seen people say that yesterday.
Yeah.
Seriously, they had the release date on Monday, and we all know, because we were in the games
Right.
Discord, they're not going to do a date until they're 100% sure they're going to make it. That's why it got delayed. And so he's like, we'll see. I'm like, dude, seriously? You have no friggin' clue just how anxious people are for this game.
I'm all for it being delayed a week, though, because I will be in Paris when this is released.
Absolutely, you are. Yeah.
So I'm going to be behind the 8 ball. I'm going to have some catching up to do when I get home. I'm going to have to take some extra days off work, too, because when I get home, I'm not going to go right back to work. There is a July 4th holiday, which helps break that up. But yeah, I am going to take a couple extra days to get on board with this and to start helping to make content that we can use to plug our channel and to plug our website. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'll be a lot of fun. I'm gonna look forward to just destroying you on this game, and if I have to eat my words, you know what? It won't happen.
That's right. I'll be nice. I'll say I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Okay, that's fair. I'm looking forward to the challenge also because I haven't been challenged in a long time. And here's the best part: the absolute best part. Doesn't matter who wins or loses.
Right, it's about who wins the money. Or
No,
it's about having fun.
It's because we all win. Because
That's right.
The real treasure was the friendships we made all along.
That's right.
All right, I think I'm done.
All right. Looking forward to the release, and we'll have more podcasts, flash podcasts like this, completely improvised out of the blue as info continues to drop. And we will see you all soon. Please join us on Discord. Join our channel. It's in the YouTube link. And you can come and join us in our tournaments once this gets going and be part of that community.
You can also go to EliteMarkOrder.com, click on Join the Discord. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and do all that fun stuff. JJ for life.